Ready? Play.
I just saw Damien run from front stage to backstage, but without any concealing barrier in between. What was it? To get water?
Yes, precisely.
Oh, okay. Well, the weather here is pretty bad. You're going to tell me how amazing, of course, it is in
Not anymore.
Poland.
Not anymore. Today it's raining for the first time in like ages. So
That's weird because, as I said the other day, basically Western Europe, at least, and maybe Poland. Well, we'll talk about that perhaps geopolitical hot potato another day. Western Europe, if you know what I mean, has been pretty horrendous this summer. Okay, where are we with the draw? Because I'm literally just joining. I've been doing videos and a million other things. I'm guessing that they will be super delayed. Are they doing it live? And if so, is there a link?
YouTube, yeah, as usual.
Oh, good, YouTube. Yeah, I just forget which slams do it live and which ones don't, to be honest.
Yeah, Round Garros does it on YouTube. I'm not sure where we are. I mean, someone is speaking presently.
Okay.
But we will probably know more soon. There was this guy who is usually like the on-court interviewer in Marseille and the other events, and now there's some other French dude speaking.
Okay.
As a poster of the tournament, and well, soon enough we probably will join the draw.
Great. I'm going to.
Everyone is just mostly, like, where is Nadal gonna be?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I kind of think that a lot of the draw will still be like a little iffy. Like, of course, we're not gonna have the qualifiers in, and let's be honest, like Hamad Medjedovic plays Andrei Rublev round or Hubert Hurkacz. I think it's a 50-50 match. So there's gonna be some question marks, right? But
Yeah.
I think Nadal, where he lands, like that's something that's even not.
What about Rybakina's half?
I'm gonna say the same thing that I said to you last year. Like for the on the women's side, you have to get there first, and it's a big ask. Like I don't think it's a big ask for Świątek generally, but it is an ask for Rybakina or Sabalenka. So I don't really think I'll be looking that far into the draw. I am kind of interested where Daniel Collins will be. I hope that she's not going to like totally burn herself out in Strasbourg this week. Ostapenko also, but probably less consistent than Daniel, so that's why I'm maybe a little less interested in where she will be. And I guess on the men's side, it's actually a pretty interesting draw given how we have so many, potential favorites currently, assuming that Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic will still have some issues. We have so many favorites in that four is Zverev right now, right? Yeah, so in that 4 to 12 range or something like that. So that actually can be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah. I think the first round will be interesting as well. I mean, I think what we do know is that Rafa will play a seed in the second round at the very latest, I think.
If you're unseeded, you have to play a seed in the first or second round, yes.
Yeah, right. You said it's on the YouTube channel, did you? Or was it the website of the French Open?
Maybe the website as well. I'm just watching on YouTube. I mean, they posted the link on their socials as well.
Okay.
9K people watching on YouTube currently. I'm pretty sure it's
also... watching us? Watching Damien?
yes, definitely. I'm pretty sure it's also broadcast in in some TV channels as well. I think in Poland it's on Eurosport, but on Eurosport only online. So that 9K is probably not the most accurate, but there's interest in this. And it's probably the slam that kind of leads the way in doing this in the most sensible manner.
Yeah, they're just mentioning Alizé Cornet and her upcoming, of course, retirement. She was here in Strasbourg, of course, losing quite badly in the first round, to be honest with you. Another person who lost in Strasbourg, not badly. It was 3 sets, but I felt in the third set that she wasn't willing to die on the court, as someone said quite recently. Was Svitolina yesterday in that third set? I think she just wanted to get on that next train to Paris. Put it that way.
She won Strasbourg last year, right?
That's right. And if she was
Paris after that.
Yeah, sure. But I just think I'm not. I don't think that was going through her mind. Trust me. That third set. Yeah, she wasn't. As I say, I don't think she was giving it 100%.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I didn't watch it either, but I'm just like saying it's stupid if she did that. That's
Perhaps,
not a good. That's not a good idea.
unless she was feeling something. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe.
But her movement was almost non-existent in the third set. I mean,
Maybe she was feeling a Roland Garros title.
yeah, maybe. Who knows? There were other questions. Daniel Collins, I think, is probably the second question. I do think that you're right. We don't know whether Rybakina will get that far, but to me, it is an intriguing element because I think basically, arguably, she's the only person who can go toe to toe with Igor on this surface.
Mm, Collins, Ostapenko, Sabalenka,
You really
Rybakina.
think? You think? I'm not sure. You really think those players can go toe to toe with her and beat her?
Yeah, they can definitely take the racket out of their hands at least for a bit. And
I
that's always a chance if you're hitting super well on the day. I mean, I don't think anyone will beat her, but you know, I'm grasping at straws. I mean,
Yeah, I think that if we had odds, if it was Sabalenka versus Swiatek, say in the final, I think the odds right now would be clear for Swiatek. If it was a Rybakina Swiatek final, of course, that would mean she'd be in the other half of the draw. I think that the odds would be much closer. Of course, a lot could depend on how they get there, but I'm just imagining a hypothetical scenario where
I don't
they
think
play
so.
each
I
other.
think the market would have these two matches very similarly. I don't know if it would be right, but I think it would. Like the odds on Swiatek Sabalenka in Madrid, for example, like Iga was such an overwhelming favorite for no reason really. Yeah, I just don't think it would be different against Ryba really. There's that on-court interviewer again.
Yes. What's
Hopefully
his name?
now he's actually gonna give us something. I don't know. I've never. I don't think
This
I
is the
ever saw
guy.
anybody know
This is
that.
the guy who introduces famously Nadal with all the years that he's won it.
Ah, yeah,
We've
yeah, yeah.
we've got somebody else joining the stage as well, assuming our streams are in sync.
Yes.
With the French Open trophy in front of him. I'm guessing we're doing the women's first because that's the women's trophy, right?
That's usually how they do it. Um, I was thinking about it earlier because like after the draw, I will have to do something about the some work around the men's draw, and I was thinking which one's first. I think the women's, but it's kind of like the scheduling at most of the 1,000 events right now, right? You just get you just get the women's out of the way and you let the men play. that's
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
how the days, especially when you have two women's quarterfinals and all the men's forefront, like that's kind of how it feels. Apparently, it's the tournament referee for the French Open.
Okay,
They just
okay.
showed his name on my screen. I did not manage to remember it. But he's speaking right now, so I don't think he's probably going to be doing the draw, given he's the referee. So probably just a few
I mean,
minutes.
Rafa did it in Barcelona, which I still think is, yeah, it's okay. Nobody's questioning it, but you don't need to have Rafa doing the draw.
I think our late friend Jakub Bobro once did a draw in Newport Beach for the WTA event, but I can't remember with which player. Like he was literally just there as one of the just few people, and they just you know invited him
Really?
to the draw with
He pulled
some
the names
obscure
out.
player. Yeah, yeah. I just can't remember which player it was. With like Kyla Day or someone like that, like some random American, around top 100. But yeah, it was a pretty funny story.
Is Medjedovic playing today, by the way?
Medjedovic already won.
Oh, he's through, is he? Okay.
Yes, we've got 4 qualifiers on the men's side already through, and on the women's, I think 3.
Who are they?
Shintaro Mochizuki, as Bagnis got injured, Hamad Medjedovic, Valentin Vacheron, and Giulio Zappieri. And on the women's, we've got Niemeyer, Riera, and someone.
Okay, Nimar's there.
Burilo Escorihuela. Oh, I would not have remembered that.
So yes, we are going to have the women's draw first as we look across the landscape, I believe, in Paris and Nice moving
Yeah.
thing.
I
The
guess now we're putting Świątek and Sabalenka in. No, now we're
okay,
putting.
Bronzetti Osaka first round.
So that's Osaka Świątek round 2 potentially.
Yes, so I see. Yes, I see. Yeah, because we've got so Osaka. Yes, Swiatek potentially in round 2. That's interesting. Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess not much to talk about in the Świątek first 3 rounds.
Potapova, Taylor
Yeah, that's
Townsend.
fourth round already. But
Okay.
like, yeah. Yeah, it's tough to get much out of this unless we see some special first round matchups, or maybe someone who will have a seed and is a very dangerous player.
Yeah. Okay. Next section.
This is how we'll learn where Rafa will be as well later.
Yeah. So it's done electronically, I guess.
Yeah.
Tomjanovic gets a wild card.
This is all done electronically, and then they will be pulling names out of the hats for the seeds. Of course, the hats will be like pretty limited because there's a certain way of making the draw.
Mm-hmm.
Magdalena
Tatiana Maria,
Stojkovic.
Clara Towson first round.
Okay. Nothing too special so far, I guess. Probably already
Sigmund
there are
Kenin.
tweets on YouTube about on Twitter about Osaka Świątek. Like that's what I imagine Twitter is now
Yeah.
all about. Okay. Friend of the show, Sasha Vickery. Cornet will
Oh.
play a seed, and it will be either Rybakina or who's the fourth seed? Goff, right?
Yeah, fourth seed Goff.
So Cornet will play either Rybakina or Goff.
No, Goff is third seed, no?
Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Rybakina or Goff, yeah. You're right. I keep thinking that Rybakina is third, but you're right. Rybakina. But yeah, Rybakina or Goff. Yeah, it's gonna be the last match of Alize Cornet. I think we can now say it with clarity.
Yeah.
That's brutal, by the way. Will Rafa get the same treatment?
Oh, I see. Yeah, last French Open as well. Yeah, at least Conne, her CV's not quite as glittering, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess she hasn't really had that many big rounds here, but I mean, she's still very important for
Quarterfinalist, I think, on 1 or 2 occasions.
Kerber in the second round against some top 8 seed as well. That's going to be potentially some upset alerts, as I don't think the 5-8 seeds are that strong on the women's. But of course, we'll learn who sometime soon. How about Andreeva? Ooh, very easy in the first round. But some seed in the second round, or Podoroska. We'll see which seed. I mean, that's going to be pretty much the most important. But it's Andreeva and Sabalenka in the same quarter again, so.
Sabalenka and who?
Andreeva, I mean, they could only meet in the quarters, but still. Badosa as a third round opponent for Sabalenka, maybe, unless there's a big seed coming. Actually, that's actually very strong in general.
Andreeva. Is that Andreeva? Oh no, that's Erika.
Erika. So Erika will get smashed off the court by Arina in the first round, and then maybe her sister will avenge her in the quarters.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, Badosa, Putintseva, or Stevens for Sabalenka in the third round. That's actually really tough.
Stevens or who, sorry?
Stevens, Putintseva, Badosa, or a seed that we don't know yet.
And that's for Sabalenka.
That's for Sabalenka in the third round. Stevens last year was the toughest match that Arena had on the way to the semis. Putintseva, of course, quite a few big runs recently. Almost beat Rybakina in Madrid.
Yeah.
Stevens won Rouen.
Yeah, although she has gone down a bit since then.
Yes. Sloane Stevens is like Otto Virtanen.
tell. How?
I was just thinking today that like being a Virtanen fan must be the most frustrating experience ever because you enter every match and you don't know if your player will be at 120%, motivation, focus, and stuff, or 10%. Like literally, there's no middle ground, and it's kind of like this with Stevens too.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. So I guess now it's time for Marie-José Perec, who I actually remember, as a sprinter.
I was just
Winning
thinking
goals.
if I should know her, but as she's not a tennis player, that's
She's
fine.
not now.
That's fine. I'm okay. I'm allowed not to know her.
Yes, of course we know where some of the seeds will be, but we don't know where they will all fall exactly. Does Swiatek not have a relationship with her mother?
What?
I just saw a comment on the live chat on the French Open feed. Someone saying that Swiatek and her mother don't talk to each other.
It sounds like gossip to me. I mean, her mother is definitely not like a public person, really. And
Okay, yeah, it probably is gossip. Yeah,
but maybe. I mean, I don't have evidence leading me this way or the other way. So
yeah. Keen saying Murray didn't deserve the wild card. I assume that's for the doubles he's talking about, right?
yeah, Murray got a wild card with whom?
Dan
Jesus.
Evans.
Dan Evans. Yeah, yeah. It's a little weird. I think especially Grégoire Jacques. I don't know with whom, but he should have been there. Maybe with Dan Adet. But no, sorry, Adet got one. But like maybe with Guinard. Like there are a few players who are snubbed there in favor of like good singles players, essentially.
Okay,
So
Goff
to
has a
go
nice
through the
draw.
Świątek half, so that means Rybakina will have that. What was it? Like Rybakina? Oh, Rybakina will have to end Cornet's career. That's what it means. Yeah.
No, Rybakina is going to be
Oh no,
playing
Rybakina is there. Ah, okay.
Minen.
So
Yeah,
actually, it can
good
be
news for
close
Cornet.
race here.
Yeah.
Then
So
Cornet
yeah,
might be
so
one of the 5-8 seeds. Okay.
Goff's draw just very, very quickly looked very, very kind, but I could be wrong. I just saw Vondrousova gets Masarova in the first round. That should be a win for the Czech, I would
Let's
imagine.
see that quarter more. Yeah. Wondrouszova, Świątek. Yeah, that's not a threat.
Yeah, that's not bad. Coco Ons, again, given Ons' form since Wimbledon.
I mean, yeah, but that provided they get to the quarters,
Of
which
course,
especially
yeah,
in
yeah.
Once's case is
Oh, yeah.
nowhere near ensured. I would say. But yeah, so Kim and Zheng against Cornet. It's pretty interesting. Didn't they play third round before Kinven lost to Iga in 2022? I think so. And Sakari Sabalenka is the last
Sakari
one.
Sabalenka, okay.
Nothing special because like for now, yeah, we just need to first like actually see them get there in most
Yeah.
cases at least. So it's tough to actually talk about big stories here. I mean, definitely Cornet playing Zheng, like her last match and stuff. Potentially her last match, maybe not.
Cornet Zheng is first round, yeah?
Daniel Collins in the in the quarterfinals of Świątek. Okay, that's
Okay.
something. Like, that's actually info.
Yeah.
Ostapenko in the quarters of Goff potentially, and that might be
Mm-hmm.
the player who stops Ons Jabeur from getting there. Or she might just lose to Christian in the first round.
Kazakhina Magdalena Frech.
I'll forgive you for the lack of "un" there in the middle.
Yeah, I knew that. I don't know why I picked out that random match that unfortunately happened to have her in it. Daniel Collins gets a fellow American Dolhide in the first round. Kata Alexandrova.
Alexandrova in the Świątek fourth round as well. Another player who like constantly gives her issues, right?
Had Maya Cocciaretto.
I mean,
First round.
I don't know what sort of standard we were expecting from a Świątek draw here, but I think getting Alexandrova in the fourth round and getting Collins in the quarters, that's not good. But then again, she has Goff instead of Rybakina in the semis. So, uh, I mean, she's probably like a tiny bit weaker right now than she was before the draw was made in terms of her winning chances. But, you know, it's like a 0.
Less than 1%. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Madison Keys for Sabalenka in the fourth round. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, because Sabalenka's a bit more vulnerable than Iga.
And
Krejcikova, previous champion, gets Golubic. Where's I haven't seen Magdalene in the draw. She's obviously not seeded, so I didn't see where she fell.
I've seen her somewhere, but I don't remember now.
I've seen her somewhere, and I'll tell you where. Strasbourg yesterday.
Today as well. I mean, if you. Oh,
I'm not actually at the venue. I'm only a few minutes away, but
Lyudmila Samsonova is gonna play her in the first round.
Samsonova.
Yeah.
Okay. Samsonova.
Yannick Sinner's girlfriend playing Clara Burel.
Samsonova, by the way, today I missed the match beat, but had Admire in straight sets. Go on, sorry.
No, I just said Yannick Sinner's girlfriend playing Clara Burel.
Okay.
That's me spreading gossip. But yeah, did you mean I didn't see the Samsonov had Maya match? Yeah,
No,
I
I
mean,
didn't.
the sport seems a bit weird, right? I mean,
It
maybe
does, yeah.
Maya was also not exactly in the mood to play. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But it's a good run for. I mean, that's some good opponents she's knocking over there. Krejcikova in 3 sets, Layla in 3 sets, had Admire in straights.
I'd question Krejcikova being a strong opponent right now.
First round?
Sure. I mean, in a WTA 500, that happens all the time, right? But no, sure, of course.
Kudermetova against Buskova.
Kudermetova, okay. I mean, Iga has lost to Kudermetova, but Kudermetova has been in horrible form. But yeah, Collins in the quarters, Alexandrova in the fourth round for Świątek. If that actually happens, well, that's, you know, kind of the toughest that it could have been for her within these seed groups. The semis, however, yeah, she gets Goff instead of Rybakina, so it kind of evens out a bit at least. And where is Emma Raducanu?
At home, having a cup of tea.
Practicing on grass. I mean, she needs to practice right now, right? I mean,
Yeah. Where's Jessica Pegula?
And who's the seed here? That's really important, actually. The last one. Oh yeah, Katie Bolter. Oh, okay. That's probably not gonna be Katie Bolter meeting Sabalenka in the third round. I have to say that probably will be Badosa, Putintseva, or Stevens. Jessica Pegula, yeah.
Yeah, along with Berrettini, both pulling out in the last 24 hours.
Thank you, Miss. What was her name? Perez.
Perek.
Perek. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Miss Perek. I wonder who they will find to do the men's draw then. Is there any other star athlete coming in?
Kylian Mbappe.
There was this French white runner, sprinter. I can't remember his name though. He was pretty good. Like he was rivaling the Jamaicans and stuff. But I don't remember his name. Lemaitre, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
if I get
I see the tweet. Yeah, the tweet. Yeah.
Which tweet?
Lynette's tweet, you mean?
Which tweet?
From
No,
Lynette.
I was trying to come up with the name of that French sprinter, but never mind.
Perek is the one we just had. Oh, yeah, but you couldn't remember. Anyway, Jose Morgado's take.
Is what?
Look on the screen if you can see it.
Okay, I have to the
I
same
can
thing.
tell you if you want. He says Swiatek's
Yeah,
quarter is
ask me.
heavy. Is heavy, and then he highlights Osaka Krejcikova, Collins, and Vondrousova. Yeah, Collins and Vondrousova, I guess.
Collins, yes. Osaka, I can imagine that because it's potentially the second round. You mean? And I mean, it will be a big match. But I actually have a
Could have
problem
been the
with
first round.
Vondrousova. I actually have a problem
Osaka's
with
not.
Vondrousova. Like Vondrousova right now doesn't make any quarter heavy. You know, it's what you expect of the 5-8 seeds, but neither of them is particularly dangerous. I think. I mean, who is it? Like Jabber, Zheng, Vondrousova, and uh, Sakari. Yeah, so Sakari is probably worse, right, to get right now than Vondrousova.
So of course this is projections only and seeded only and all the rest of it, but that is the projected women's quarter finals there on the screen.
I love
Which of
Swiatek
those,
though.
if you had to say it, won't make it? I'm going to go with, without studying the draw in detail, I don't think Ons will get that far. I Zachary I'd have to have a look at the draw, but that's someone who I'd be thinking, and Vondrousova as well. Coco's draw from memory just took the first sort of couple of rounds I saw looked fine. So I think there's a good chance she does make it as far as the quarters. Elena Rybakina, I'd have to have a look at the draw a bit more, and same with Kim Wen-Cheng.
Derek says that my mic is low. That's actually kind of on purpose, but I will try to speak into it more, and we'll see if that helps. Anyway, I would say Vondrousova and Jabber are both pretty unlikely. Keen Van, I would have to look at the draw, and Sakari probably the same. As for the top four seeds, I mean they are pretty strong. The law of mathematics like tells us that probably at least one will not make it in. But maybe Vansh will be there to come up with a bold prediction and say that every single top four seed will make it. And I don't know. I can't really disagree with him. Looking at this draw, I think Sabalenka third round that's looking very tough. Keys fourth round that's looking pretty tough. So maybe her. I didn't really pay that much attention to the Rybakina draw either, so I would have to check that. But yeah, Swiatek and Goff look pretty strong. There's actually Iga Swiatek on our screens right now. She's
I
currently
know.
supposed to be doing the men's draw.
No, I can't imagine that.
Why not?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but no.
Iga, come on. Let's draw Medjedovic to Hurkacz. Come on. I can't really do that yet because the qualifiers won't be.
If she
So
gets a lucky loser for her catch, particularly a kind one, then there would be.
unfortunately, it's qualifiers / lucky loser, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's not how it works. It will be drawn tomorrow after the qualifying is wrapped up. Okay, so okay, guys, I will it, but if you hear some background noise, don't blame me, okay? Right. Hopefully that already helps. And yes, Christopher Lemaitre. Yeah, that's exactly the guy I was thinking of, Michael. So, will he be doing the men's draw? Is now the question, because if indeed he is, then that's gonna be the best prediction I've ever made. You know, disregard all my tennis predictions. If that's the guy making the women's draw, I mean the men's draw. Sorry.
Mickelson is so much fun, by the way. Keen saying something about he wasn't boring at all. I don't know what made Keen think he might be boring. For me, there's nothing boring about Mickelson, whether you like him or not.
I haven't watched him live or talked to him, so not sure.
Yeah, watching him live is actually the fun bit. There's so many sort of what's the word, habits, but there's another better word for it. But he's got so many habits on court that make me laugh. He's always, and he does mean it's sorry. He says sorry when something happens. It's not a net court. He just says sorry. There was something else as well. Oh yeah, Dennis Novak, when he was playing him the other day, he's like, oh man, why is this guy? I know his name's Novak, but why is he playing like Djokovic? And he said it out loud. Why is he playing like Djokovic? Ah.
So the Jenson Brooksby energy that he has kind of with his game, with some of his technique, it also translates to his personality.
There is a
Because
vibe to him about Jensen Brooksby, but I think he's maybe more fun even. I mean, Brooksby's can be fun, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't watched Brooksby live as well. That may have made a difference, and I
yeah,
don't
me neither either.
get the words. But I haven't found myself laughing as much as I was during this Mickelson Novak match of the day. Dennis
I don't
Novak.
know when we'll get the chance, you know.
Mickelson, by the way, he beat Fritz yesterday, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It was a very thrilling finish. I mean, he missed too much points on return, too much points on serve, had to break again, but he did and won. And Snehi very excited in the chat for Nagal and Novak. Yes, indeed, it's been pretty rare for someone from India in some majors in last few years. Of course, the Varman, Bambri, Gunneswaran, they all played a few. But Sumit Nagal against Rafael Nadal in the first round. I don't
I
know.
would Nadal. I'd be up for that.
Yeah, maybe. There were a lot of jokes about it when Federer played Nagal at the US
Yeah, I
Open.
remember that. Yeah, US Open. Yeah.
And it was a very good match, actually.
Oh, was it? I thought was it not straight sets? Or was it four?
No. It was four and it was super humid. Like after one set, Federer was sweaty to the point where, yeah, he just couldn't really hold his racket anymore. And Nagal was like, yeah, just kept making him work hard all the way until the end.
Okay, come on, people, get on with the men's draw
Yeah, I
because
think
I
this
need.
is really BS right now what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah, I need replenishments. I haven't eaten. I haven't had coffee yet. Kava, as you would say in Polish.
Katarzyna Kawa, yeah. She lost yesterday, I think, to Laura Pigossi, so she's not going to be making the Roland Garros main draw.
Nor Dominic Thiem, nor, of course, Diego Schwartzman. Famous quarterfinal from 2020. 5 sets. That Schwartzman won 6-2 in the fifth with a drop shot from Dominic Thiem, which was, yes, curious to say the least.
Yes, indeed. And the conqueror of Dominic Thiem from yesterday. Well, he was very different on the court today.
Oh, so I didn't know that. So you were referencing him earlier, and he lost it.
He was Virtanening very hard today. 2-6 to 6, maybe an hour or something like that. Yeah, he was just absolute throwaway mode. But honestly,
yeah.
I think in a way he kind of also helped Thiem, because let's imagine Dominic Thiem makes the main draw, and let's
I
imagine he's
know.
drawing a
I
high
saw what you
seed.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, I just cannot possibly imagine anything else than a brutal defeat, and that's, well, get on with it. Yeah, Iga is exiting the room finally. Now we're gonna get
They
the
said,
men's
"Get on
draw.
with it," said Iga.
No. That's me saying that. And also, Miss Perek is still
Yeah.
on the stage. Maybe she's
Oh,
gonna
so
be
she
just
may be
drawing
doing the
the
men's
men's
as
draw.
well.
I don't know. But they're showing us the women's again anyway, so we can kind of like look around once more. But yeah, like Collins or Kostyuk are way more likely to me to reach the quarters than Vondroushova. Jabber, yeah, I mean, she could play even like Kalina or Osorio in the second round, Fernandez in the third, Ostapenko in the fourth. That's again really tough. But the Zheng draw looks a little better.
Friend of the show, Paulini gets Daria Saville.
And the Sakari draw looks pretty good too, I suppose. So yeah, I think that, you know, we're obviously not discovering America here, but the top four seeds are much stronger than 5-8. But I think especially vulnerable are Jabber and Vondroushova. Yeah.
Looking at Coco section, yeah, Ostapenko would be the one.
That's the quarter though already.
Yeah, I know, but that's the one in. Okay, so she's going to avoid it till the quarter. Okay, but that is the one that I can't see too many maybe stopping her from making
Yeah.
that semi.
Yeah, I think the top four seeds look pretty strong. Maybe Sabalenka has the toughest draw. The third round bunch, other than the seed, actually, all the unseeded players in the third round, plus keys potentially in the fourth round. Like I think Sabalenka has the toughest draw out of the top four seeds. If I was to just right now, without looking at the draw, of course, that thoroughly, put my money on one of the top four seeds on the women's losing before the quarters, I would say Sabalenka. So Djokovic will play Pierre Igerbert in the first round. Okay, that's just a free win, and the same with the second round, really. But Saberfield, maybe we'll see what seed is there as well.
Well, that's one of the players that Rafa needs to avoid in the early rounds, and he's done that.
Who?
Djokovic.
Djokovic, yeah. Saberfield, I guess. I was thinking of Saberfield for some reason. But sure, yeah, Djokovic.
He's avoided Djokovic in the first two rounds at the very least. Adam Walton. Oh, okay, you got a wild card.
Yeah, the Australian wildcard. But, he will be at Wimbledon main draw. He has the ranking for it now.
Oh, there's Nadal. We don't know who his opponent's going to be yet, but this is his section. Goffin.
But this means it will be a top 8 seed. It will be either
Alcaraz.
Zverev, Alcaraz, or one of the 5-8 seeds. Yeah, it's a seed from between 3 and 8.
A seed between 3 and 8. So not
yeah,
Alcaraz. Yeah, Alcaraz. Alcaraz. Not
Alcaraz,
Sinner.
Zverev, Rublev, Tsitsipas. No, not Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, right?
Yeah. Tsitsipas, no, because I think he's seeded 9.
Tsitsipas seeded
Casper
9.
Ruud. Could be Casper Ruud.
Yeah, Casper.
Ay.
Yeah, never mind. We'll know soon. Petri Perikat beat Goffin in Antwerp last year. But yeah, that's very rough for Rafa, obviously. Is that, I mean, it's going to be an argument both ways. Like, people are going to look at this as an argument, draws are fixed. And people are also going to look at it as an argument that draws aren't fixed. So, yeah, I don't think it tells us much in that discussion, since everyone will be able to twist it their own way. Nothing
Still waiting for
special
Nadal's
far?
opponent.
Oh yeah, Nadal still hasn't been in. Yeah,
No, he's been drawn, but I
very good
didn't
draw.
see who was getting. Ger Altmaier.
Oh, he's been drawn.
Yeah, I think I saw Nadal's name. Yeah, I think.
So that's gonna be. The. Yeah. That's gonna be a seed as well. I don't think we know much about which though yet. Yeah, it's probably it's gotta be like what. Yeah, I mean we don't know yet. But it's gonna be a seed anyway. In the first round, we'll know soon which one. Nishikori against the qualifier. Purcell against the qualifier. That's gonna be one lucky qualifier.
3. So world's number 328. Yeah. In the world rankings is what Rafa could get. This is the order I would put them in, and it's not great for him. Of course, her catch would be number 1, despite just getting pasted by him. Oh no, Medvedev. Medvedev is the one you want.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rafa wants Medvedev out of these. Yeah.
Medvedev didn't make my top 10 power rankings, which I'll be posting very, very soon. I've actually finished recording it. Just didn't get time to post it.
Yeah, I think Jari number 9 is somewhat bollocks, but again, like outside the top 8, I don't think it really matters anymore.
I just
yeah.
there were the men's one is kind of nuts, really. It's really
Although with the men's, like you could have gone in many different directions. I saw it's still like Djokovic, Alcaraz, Sinner. And even with that, you can go in many. Wawrinka
of
Murray
course.
again, by the way. 2020 Roland Garros, Stan just slapped him completely. But yeah, you could have gone many different directions, even with the order of the first three players.
Oh,
But also
absolutely, yeah.
whether someone else breaks through into that category.
Zverev could
And,
break into that 3 if you've got some thoughts on,
or
you know,
Steph,
eh,
or
you can't get
Casper.
Steph in the first 3.
If you really don't trust Djokovic, Alcaraz, or Sinner, then you can.
Yeah.
All right, Djokovic, Herbert, here we go.
Eubanks, Sinner, first round.
Sinner, Eubanks.
Nadal, Zverev. That's, oh dear. I don't.
That's so hilarious, actually. Oh, because of their 2022 semi and all. That's absolutely hilarious, actually. Yeah, that's just insane. I mean, yeah, I don't think Rafa will win a set, but still,
No.
it's a hilarious matchup. I cannot believe that this is happening. And Alcaraz against the qualified, but Alcaraz Draper in round 2. That's not that easy. Please, well, actually, Medvedev Alcaraz. Jesus Christ. If it's Medvedev Alcaraz, I'm gonna flip. Rud Menchik. I don't know if Menchik is fit. Like, if Menchik was fit, I would love this draw for Menchik, but nah. I mean, I would love it, not in the sense that, it's great, he's gonna win, but in the sense that it would be a great match. But Kepfer Medvedev. Rublev seems to have an okayish draw, but that again depends on the seeds that get there. Hurkacz as well, but it could be Hurkacz Medvedev in round 1, and then I think Medvedev might be the favorite.
Hi, Maria. Maria's asking which half did Rybakina fall in? She fell into Sabalenka's half. Taylor Fritz, Federico Correa. And thanks for the super chat, by the way, Maria.
Okay. So Ruud in the Djokovic quarter as well. That's kind of important. I guess Zverev in the Medvedev one. Zverev could really go huge at this event.
Yeah.
With this draw. Mikkelsen beat the Minor this year, but I don't think he's going to do it on clay. Tsitsipas Fucsovic. Tsitsipas Rublev as well in the quarters. That's quite important too.
Oh, that's okay.
And the last one is who? I forgot. Is it Rune? No, Rune fell into 13, right? So I think Rune could play one of the top 4 seeds in the 4th round, I think. I know. Yeah, Tommy Paul. That's good for Djokovic. The Djokovic draw looks good.
Yes, it does.
But Rune in the Zverev 4th round, and that makes it much tougher for Zverev if we get that match. I don't think Shelton makes it much tougher for Alcaraz. And number 9 in the power rankings, Nicolas Jarry can play Yannick Sinner in the 4th round.
Okay.
All right, and soon we will know who Sumit Nagal plays. One of the next 16 players drawn.
I'm laughing at you, Tom. Tom is watching and he's also texting at the same time. Texting me. Okay. Hachanov Nagal. Did we
qualifier?
say again?
Another very happy qualifier who will play Manarino. Kachanov against Nagal. Okay. Could have been worse.
He was a potential in my top 10. Hachanov, not Nagal.
Yeah, again, I don't think below the top 8 it matters truly. But maybe. Again, Felix Nishioka. Jesus. How many more times?
Rafa, by the way, Vicky, he gets Alexander Zverev in round one. Of course, it's going to be the main headline from the men's draw. Good news for
Yeah.
Rafa. Of course, he would take over that number 4 seed spot if he was to win it.
That's
Andy
pretty
Murray, Stan
insane.
Wawrinka. That's going to get Twitter going.
And it's not 2020 anymore, so Stan cannot just defeat him 6-1, 6-3, 6-1, or whatever. He doesn't have that in him anymore. Echeverry, Kazo. Oh, that's very nasty. Although Kazo hasn't played, I think, since that ankle injury, right?
Okay.
The Zverev draw is looking a little tougher, like as we go, because he can play Greek Sport or Darderi in the third round, Rune maybe in the fourth round, the Kachanov. But then again, he's still in the Medvedev quarter, so that's good for him. Fils Arnaldi, that's also like been happening all the time. Miami, US Open. And Fils Rublev round 3. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to believe that Fils is gonna have a shot, but he's still so all over the place.
Musetti's a potential third round for Djokovic, it seems. Cam Norrie gets Kotov. Gasquet, Borna Choric. There's a chance there, depending on which Borna turns up.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess the biggest story from this is still Nadal Zverev, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that'll be Sunday night. Is Nadal in Novak's half, by the way?
Yeah.
So Zverev is in Novak's half.
Yeah.
So a potential semi-final, Zverev, Djokovic, and Alcaraz Sinner is a potential semi-final. Is that right?
Come again?
Alcaraz Sinner, therefore, is a potential semi-final.
Yeah. Alcaraz and Sinner in the bottom half, Zverev, Djokovic in the top. I mean, Snahy about that comment. Like, yeah, we're just talking about the seeds here, but assume on the other hand, like assuming Nagal will be in the fourth round would also be unrealistic. So,
Well, at least you're recognizing it, though. I think at least you're saying, because you're not just going Zverev Khachanov. You're actually going, that's assuming, of course, that Nagal loses,
yeah, sure. Why is Djokovic saying that Nadal is the big threat in Roland Garros? Because he's kind and he doesn't want to say that Nadal is over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's the least important take of the year.
I mean, I don't even think that Djokovic probably thinks that Nadal is over. Like Djokovic probably thinks. I mean, it's Rafa. We've seen it so many times. Like, 2022, he has a chronic foot injury that he's struggling with, right? And then he shows up and wins Roland Garros. So, I mean, that's also part of it. Like, he just respects him too much and is thinking, well, if it happens again, would it be the most shocking thing in the world? Probably not. But like all in all, what are you expecting him to say? Like Nadal is not a threat. Nadal is Nadal is over. I don't care about Nadal. I don't care where Nadal lands. If he is in my first round, I will be happy because I know I have a win. If any player ever starts talking like that, I will become a fan. But no one ever really does that.
So, yeah, there we go.
That was the draw. Don't know if we've actually learned all that much so far, but we definitely will have to get into this like more in the next few days and stuff.
Sabot Wilt Monfils, that one under my radar. Round one.
Yeah, guy has been a little rough, so
Yeah, but it's going to be entertaining.
First of all, we need to learn where the qualifiers land because there are a few. And yes, Mr. Hamad Majedovic, I'm looking mostly at you. Woo, who will have a massive potential for a run here?
Keep an eye on the ticker scrolling across the bottom of the screen. There's lots of information there. I know some people are asking questions in the live chat, but a lot of the big takes are on that ticker below. Of course, also on the screen that I'm sharing. Yeah, this quarter. Oh, Holger Rune's in the quarter as well of Zverev, etc. Holger Rune made my power rankings.
Holger Rune made your power rankings. I saw that and I was maybe a little surprised, but I'm glad that he did. However, yeah, I mean, at this stage, I have zero trust in him. So
Oh
if
yeah, zero.
if he loses round one, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I mean,
The women's was like the first five just have to be there and almost certainly have to be in that five. And the
who's
only
number
debate,
five?
pardon?
Number five?
No, the women. I'm talking about with the women.
Yeah.
The women's, the first five. I think it's difficult to put Daniel Collins at number 6,
Collins.
for
Yeah.
example.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
So you got that first five, and then the only debates are: do you put Coco at 4 or 5? Do you put Elena at 2 or 3? That's it. That's that. But then from
Could
6,
probably make the case for Goff over Rybakina at 3 as well. Like, you could make the case for that.
okay.
I think it's not that tough, given Rybakina's withdrawal from Rome,
Yeah,
given
the health
Rafa's
thing,
thing.
it's difficult. I mean, I
Yeah,
think you can take Rafa's health into account, and you can take it into account for Yannick and Carlos. But there's also a point when you're like, we just don't know, and so let's try and sort of put that slightly to the back of our mind. But we can throw form in, and therefore, of course, Yannick's post Monte Carlo is almost non-existent because of the injury, and same with Carlos to some extent throughout the clay court season. It's tricky. It's tricky. But anyway, the first five for me, boom. But then to be honest with you, from 6 to 10, you could put any 20 names in there, and it would be like, well, I guess Maria Sakkari should be there. I guess Sloane Stevens. I guess Madison Keys. I guess Ons Jabeur. Yeah, for that 6 to 10.
yeah,
On the men's side, the first three for me have to come in one order or another, and I'm not going to argue the case about any of those three because I honestly, if you had Alcaraz at 1, which I think many of us may well have done 6 to 8 weeks ago, particularly post Indian Wells, and so on and so forth. Post draw, on the women's side, I think I would agree with you that Sabalenka is probably the one that's just maybe 1 or 2% gone down in the likelihood of winning the French Open, if you like.
maybe this is the slum where Vansh's bold prediction comes in. If Djokovic,
Oh
Alcaraz,
God.
and Sinner, if Djokovic, Alcaraz, and Sinner will be at full strength, it's possible.
Of course it is. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, and the draw for the men, I would agree with that with the draw. I just I want to have that debate one more time, but I need Vance to be here because I don't want to waste my time and effort on why it's not bold at all. Yeah. Anyway, what about on the men's side? Who are from the first four? I guess it may be one of Yannick or Carlos. I'd have to look at their draws a bit more closely. Let's. So I've got Carlos against a qualifier, and then potentially Jack Draper in the second round, and then potentially Sebi Korda maybe in the third round. Although I don't fancy Korda's chances too much, to be honest.
Yeah, Draper is like a bit of a chance. Qualifiers again, like if we get Medjedovic there, or I don't know who else is really strong. Some of the really strong ones with lost, but Monteiro.
Here's Yannick Sinner's
But like, yeah, with Sinner and Alcaraz for now, like any discussion is kind of redundant, because if we are assuming that Alcaraz is gonna get into the quarters and play Rublev or Tsitsipas, like he's not beating them playing like in Madrid, like he's just not, and
No, but he
we
is
don't
he
know.
is beating them 9 times out of 10
Oh yeah,
if he's normal.
oh yeah, absolutely, that's
So
true.
that's not bad. I mean, actually, I'm just looking at Yannick's. Maybe from the first 4 candidates, certainly the first 3 candidates anyway, Yannick's probably looks maybe the trickiest. I'm looking at
What
in
looks
this.
tricky here?
I mean,
There's
Jari.
literally nothing tricky outside of Jari in the whole quarter.
I'm just also looking at the depth. Let's say the depth, um, in terms of her catch, Dimitrov,
But that's the quarters.
Baez.
Like Hurkacz Dimitrov is the best you can get in the quarters, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's probably someone worse, but
I mean, the best in terms of for you, because
so
the alternative is getting Rublev and Tsitsipas, for example, like Alcaraz did. Like
yeah,
the sinner draw is literally perfect. Otherwise, maybe other than maybe Jari, like, but other than that, it's
it's just a matchup for Carlos against those two players. When fit in firing, there's just no
yeah.
chance.
But Sinner has Dimitrov and Hurkacz. Alcaraz would very happily trade.
Yeah, and then Djokovic's quarter, um, Wilt, Cerundolo, Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz. Oh, that's nice if you get a Casper Ruud. Yeah, I guess the Casper Ruud quarterfinal is an entertaining one. I just don't know if we're going to get anything entertaining before. Maybe Wilt against Djokovic before that. All Australian affair in
Novak
the
has
first
the
round.
toughest early rounds. Really, I
Who has
don't
who's
agree
the
with
toughest
that at
one?
all.
Who has the
I
toughest
think
one?
some of the easiest. I mean,
Who?
provided that Musetti would be at like his 500%, maybe.
Oh no. Novak's early rounds are fine. I mean,
Especially the first two. I
his
mean, the
first
first two
two,
are just
his
yeah.
first. He's basically in the third round already, which is
Yes.
most of the time it's going to be the case, but you never know. He could have got Medjedovic in the first round. He could have got Wilt in the first round.
Denis Istomin in the first round.
He could have got even if he just had qualifier there, Jakub Mensik, I don't know. Davidovich Fokina could have been a first round, it looks like as well. So could have had Rafa in the first round. Just think that, he's fine until the third round. Same with Igor on the women's side as well. By the way, plenty of people tuning in now. I think because the live feed has finished, they've switched over to us to get some post-draw thoughts. So do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We have got, of course, the ticker going across the bottom of the screen. So keep an eye on that. That's just giving you some of the essentials, which I'm also sharing on the bigger screen. So we don't know, of course, where the qualifiers fall. They'll be done tomorrow. Is that right?
If no rain, yes.
Yeah. Going back to the women's, here we are with Coco's section. To me, not looking too bad. It might be Ostapenko in the quarterfinal for her. Do check out Nick's power rankings, by the way. Qinwen Zheng here in the same section as Rybakina. Okay. Pavlyuchenkova in there, of course, a former French Open finalist, last year's quarterfinalist, Svitolina, a friend of the show, Jasmine Paolini. Yeah, this is an interesting little section. I think there's no one, you couldn't really put your house on anyone making the quarterfinal here from this group.
Which one again?
From Zheng via Paolini and Svitolina, Pavlyuchenkova and Rybakina.
Uh, I mean, Rybakina is a pretty strong favorite,
If
but then
she's
again,
fit.
you have Kerber's second round, right? So that's already like a threat. Even Angelique's recent form, the last 2 weeks or so. I don't really get Svitolina right now. Like, she's dropped off so much since that fantastic comeback in 2023.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are questions with Rybakina, definitely. And just in general, the best of 3 formats, you never know.
Sabalenka, Erika Andreeva. Where did Mira Andreeva fall? She's
Same
got. Oh, she's
quarter.
in the same. Okay, yeah. And she's got a fairly nice first round. Um, I can
Very.
see Sakari and Sabalenka holding their seats here, but Sabalenka, Madison Keys, that could well be the key. Although potentially Putin or Stevens as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah, that
third round
little.
for Arena will be really tough. I don't think it's Bolter. Probably not, but Badosa, Putintseva, Stevens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that could be very interesting for Arena, and then followed by Madison Keys. I mean, she could be looking at, some very tough qualifier in the second round, followed by Sloane Stevens' third round, Madison Keys' fourth round, Maria Sakkari quarterfinal.
Bereknikova is not playing yet. No, she is
Yeah.
currently still signed up for Wimbledon, but
Oh, is
well,
she?
we'll see. Andrescu
Yeah.
is playing. Andrescu is coming back just about now, just for Roland Garros. Yes.
And do we know where she is in the draw?
She's somewhere. I mean, you have the screens. I mean,
I
you have the
know, I know.
screenshots. I mean, I don't remember, but I did see her name.
Oh, friend of the show, Avanesian gets
It's Andres
Julie.
Tormo. Avanesian,
And
who's
let's go
gonna
to
drop
Torma, yeah.
a lot in the rankings after this event.
Who's going to drop a lot in the rankings?
Avanesian.
Oh.
I mean, she made the fourth round last year, but she gets Lin Zhu, so that's, I mean, one of the best throws in the on clay. It's one of the best throws in the
And
entire.
then she'll play the winner of Blinkova or Chester in the next round. Of course, Jasmine Paolini, friend of the show, is also in that same section.
Yeah.
And here is Coco's section with a potential quarterfinal against Garcia Fernandez. That little section there looks very open to me from Siegmund, Kennen, qualifier Garcia Fernandez, Ponche. I mean, we could have a Sasha Vickery in fourth round.
No, we won't.
Leila Fernandez. I mean,
Yeah,
there's nothing
maybe.
about Leila's form at the moment, but
I kind
Laura
of disagree
Siegmund.
with some of your hype for her. Like, when you said that it's basically like one of the most important topics in the draw. That she can be Muchova from last year. Like, no, but yeah, I mean, sure, with this draw, she can definitely be in the fourth quarter.
Siegmund too.
Why did Wozniacki not play qualies? Because she's entitled. Like literally, like that's why she didn't play qualies. Her father gave this huge interview about potential, about like not signing up to see if she's respected, and she basically said something along the lines of, I've worked so hard for so many goals in my life, and I don't want to start like a junior right now, basically pissing in the face of every single player in the qualifying. And also, now she says that if she has to play qualies at Wimbledon, she's probably going to play them because she doesn't mind playing qualies. What's the difference between Roland Garros and Wimbledon? Who the hell knows? But basically, it probably means that Wozniacki will get a wild card for Wimbledon. So yeah, a player who got a billion wildcards since coming back to the tour after a few years didn't get them in Rome and Roland Garros, and she is absolutely outraged, and so is her dad. And yeah, that's why she doesn't play the qualifying at Roland Garros.
That's a rough first round for Magdalena to get Samsonova.
Yeah, I mean, Samsonova can always hit herself off the court, but yeah, it's definitely a match where like you enter and you kind of have to just
Wait and see.
see what the opponent does, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be like deciding the outcome, which is a frustrating position to be in for sure.
Tomjanovic gets Yastremska as well. Of course, Tomjanovic has spent a lot of the last 18 months off the tour through injury, so fingers crossed she can get a healthy run. And Kukagov gets a qualifier. Yeah, had a Ma who got badly beaten today. We'll have to see what kind of shape she is in, if she's okay. And that was just a quirky result. But yeah, her victor, of course. There's a lot of Strasbourg players here with Samsonova, Linette, and Hadad Meyer all in this section here, in that mini section at the top half of this quarter. And then here is Iga Swiatek's quarter. By the way, do hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Please hit subscribe. So Bronzetti or Osaka is up for her in the second round. By the way, Bronzetti has a chance of beating Osaka. So
Oh,
it
I
might
mean, she's probably like a 50-50 to beat Osaka, I
so
think. But
it might not be that
yeah,
glamorous Osaka Swiatek match in the second round that I'm sure many people are frothing at the mouth about. Buskova, Kudermetova. Kudermetova is a potential third round, I think, for Iga. Am I getting that right? Yeah, third round. But that matchup on clay in particular is not good for Veronica, unfortunately.
it's her
Remember them,
form also. That's not good for Veronica.
yeah, but I remember
I
them
mean,
playing in
she's
Madrid
beaten Swiatek last year, but
on hard, yeah, yeah.
yeah, talking about it.
Um, Krajcikova in the next section, of course, a former winner along with Alexandrova, so that's a potential third round. Potapova in that little mini section too, and there is Daniel Collins, a potential fourth round. Is that right? Is she, or is she a quarterfinalist for Iga? I'm just looking at that. Two,
Collins
four.
quarters.
Okay, so she just avoids that. Okay, I got it. So it'd be Collins, Kostyuk, Vondrusova. They are the names that jump out at me for potential quarterfinal for Iga. Yeah, so that is Iga section. Finally, we'll have a look at the men's before bringing this show to an end, and I can race off to pastures new. Where is the men's draw? It is here, looking at the first quarter of Novak Djokovic. Casper Ruud, Djokovic, quarterfinal. I'd say there's a good chance of that happening. Casper getting Mensik followed by Davidovich Fokina, by the way. That's two rounds that could have been avoided.
Vicky Andrescu has not played yet this year. Yes, but Menchik, there's that big question of health. Davidovich
Don't know who the
Fokina,
qualifier could be, by the way. If that's Medvedev.
yeah, that's a huge upset alert. I mean, Medvedev has just defeated Davidovich Fokina in Rome. But yeah, Davidovich Fokina not in great shape, but that's definitely not your ideal second round opponent. I mean, I'm not sure where he is in the rankings at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he like barely is unseeded, right? I mean, he probably is like what 35ish.
This section
So
for Djokovic is just beautiful. Herbert, Carballes Baena, Lestien, Monfils, Wilt, Galan, Musetti.
I don't think Musetti is beautiful in the third round, or Saboville, but the first two, like, yeah, the first two is just
But
it's
if it
impossible
ends
for
up
him to
being
lose.
in third round, Cashin or Paul or Fornini or Van der Zandsloop or Christopher
Fourth,
O'Connell
yeah.
or Hanfman, if any of those make it through to round three, and that's a huge percentage of that next group, we'll see. And there's Casper Ruud. So that's that little section there. Yeah, so Casper Ruud, keep an eye out to see who that qualifier is that's going to be playing Davidovich Fokina, because one of those two could well be playing Casper in the second
Yeah,
round.
Davidovich Fokina is literally the last player who didn't get a seeding. The
Yeah.
second to last is Draper. So both Alcaraz and Ruud kind of unlucky there with potentially playing the two highest ranked unseeded players in the second round.
And here is the Zverev and Medvedev section, but some people may even call it the Rafa Nadal section. But Rafa Nadal will have to beat Alexander Zverev if he really wants to own this section. After that, things would get much easier for the Spaniard should he progress. But what percentage are you giving Rafa to beat Zverev?
Next to none. I just
Really?
don't think it can happen in the best of five format. Yeah. I mean, you saw the match against Hurkacz.
Yeah.
Zverev is like 10 times worse. Like, he defends just as well. He's also super strong against lefties with the two-handed backhand, being one of the best in the business. He's going to have a huge serving advantage as well. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the sort of the moment, the crowd and stuff will on like it could get to Zverev, sure, but can it really get to him if the match isn't even close?
I mean, Zverev is showing the kind of form that got him to the semis 2 years ago, and it was almost a
I don't
50-50.
really think the form matters whatsoever.
I would go 10%, Rafa.
That's
And
really low, and obviously when I'm saying next to none, yeah, I mean, sure, there are some chances, I guess, but yeah,
there's a
that's
comment here
pretty
from
low.
Mateusz on Twitter. I've never heard of you, Mateusz, and I do apologize for that. But he just says, Djokovic, pathetic draw as always. That's a comment on Jose
People
Morgado's.
are always gonna start finding these
Yeah.
storylines and like yeah. Casper Ruud I know is always hated for his draws, which yeah, sometimes I mean yeah, it's just about
I think
we
it's the
always have to
finals that
play
he's
it
made.
together, right?
Yeah, it's
It's
the
the
finals.
finals that he's made, yeah.
You
And
know,
then some other players will never be criticized. Like no one ever talks about Alcaraz winning his US Open and it being kind of like a weakish slam title, right? Like no one
yeah.
cares.
Do many people talk about some of Rafa's draws? I remember 2017 US Open title being
Yeah,
pretty kind.
the two US Opens actually, 2017-19, these were talked about a lot.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, Anderson in the final, and then
19,
Medvedev in
I
the
thought
second
there
round.
was one or two. There was a Chilich, I think, in third or fourth round.
Yeah, but like 2017, especially, I don't think he played like a top 20 player or something like that, or something crazy, right? But yeah, of course, if you have 22 slams, after a while, people are gonna forget about that because obviously your other ones are well, every single slam is worth the same in general. Let's just
Yeah.
shut the discussion there.
Struff getting a qualifier. That would be could be exciting. Could be. I mean, it might not be. Something that won't be exciting is Munar against Bautista Agut. Demon or Mickelson, yeah, that could be fun. Evans Runa. Now, I'm not talking about the tennis here necessarily, but that I can see both players. I can see Holger Rune in particular annoying Dan Evans a lot. That is a friendship I don't ever envisage.
Yeah, sure.
But the
Personally,
tennis
not
might not
too
be.
excited about this match.
No.
I'll be watching Medvedev slap Hurkacz at the same time.
Yeah.
No. Or
So
who
yeah.
else was there? Oh, maybe Alcaraz as well had a qualifier, right? So maybe I will watching Medvedev slap Alcaraz at the same time.
If we get Rafa Nadal, David Goffin in the second round, we will at least be able to recall one of the most famous and funniest images I think shared on tennis television. And it was basically just, I can't find it now, but it was basically what can Goffin do to beat Rafa at Roland Garros? And it was, do this, do that, and then finally pray or something like that was the
Probably
third
neither
tip.
player will be in the second round
Oh,
of
of
the
course.
thing.
I'm not, this is not me predicting it, but of course it was just a chance to recall that image. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Some people, by the way, might be quite optimistic about Medvedev's chances of at least going deep. I remember him beating Bublik, I think, recently. And yeah, depending on who the qualifiers are, I mean, although I don't rate Medvedev's chances of winning the tournament that highly, it's not a bad little draw at the moment. We'll see how things pan out. Oh, Nuno Borges there. Could be interesting. Same with Mahatch too. Okay, next section is Andre Rublev and Carlos Alcaraz, who could potentially play each other in the quarterfinal. But I think that's Rublev and Tsitsipas. Maybe the fact that they've got to play each other in the fourth round, the number 6 and number 9 seed. That's a fourth round that could or should be one round at least later.
That's one of the contenders taken out of the tournament.
Yeah,
And
before that.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, by the fourth round, if we assume that there are like 6, 7 contenders right now, maybe 8, that's one of them surely getting eliminated. If we put Rune in that group, then he also counts because he will have to play Zverev in the fourth round if the seedings hold up. So
7 or 8 contenders, or 6, 7 or 8 contenders. We know who the first 3 are. We know who the first 4 are, really. After 4, yeah, is Casper Ruud and Stefanos Tsitsipas, are they
I don't
contenders?
think Tsitsipas is that far off Zverev. But yeah, these are the kind of the locks. You could put Rublev in there. I probably would. And you could also put Rune, but I probably wouldn't put
No,
them
no,
with that.
no.
I don't think so.
7 is the absolute limit for me.
Yeah.
And
And I'm not
Rublev
saying,
is
by the way, that all of these will like go far. Like I can totally
no,
see Rublev losing to Arnaldi or Fields here in the third round, for example. But
yeah.
yeah, like that's where we are, I think, with the main contenders. And if we count Rublev, which I would, then Rublev Tsitsipas means that one of these 7 will be eliminated by the quarters for sure.
And there is Alcaraz's section playing imagine, I know we keep saying it, but this one in particular, imagine Alcaraz against Medvedev in the first round.
Yeah. and with the question marks regarding Alcaraz. I don't think he wants that. I don't know if Hamad wants that, but I don't think Carlos wants that.
I guess we have to wait until Saturday to get the schedule.
Probably, maybe Friday evening, but I don't know.
It would be nice to get it as soon as possible so I can at least arrange our schedule for talking tennis. Talking tennis on Sunday, by the way, the plan is to do the first batch of matches. Is it 11 a.m. they start?
Or Roland Garros, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 11 a.m. Central European time, 10 a.m. British summer time, and other times elsewhere. We will go live and we will do basically, we'll have as many people on the show as possible. I know at least we're going to have 4 people on the show, but hopefully 5 or 6. And they will all choose one match each and they will watch that match until the end. And that may be, of course, 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever it happens to be. We'll then bring that show to a close after approximately, I guess, 4 or 5 hours, because probably one of those matches will go that distance. And we'll bring that show to a close and then we'll pick one other match at the very least, but probably just one match and go, that is our blockbuster match for the day. Of course, if Nadal Zverev ends up being the night session, it'll be that match. We'll also bring you live coverage of that particular match. And then, of course, we'll have last ball drops, which does exactly what it says on the tin at the end of play, which hopefully most of you will be familiar with. But if you're not familiar, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and also the notification bell in the top corner, and then you'll get notifications to say when we're going live. Here is the final section, which has Hurkacz, Tiafoe, Tabilo, of course, who's been obviously pulling up a few trees recently, none more than his win over Novak Djokovic, Dimitrov, Jarry, Baez, Norrie, and Sinner. That's not bad. The first 3 rounds.
It's amazing for the first 3 rounds. Like,
Yeah.
there's no one to lose to if he's healthy.
Yeah, and he can also sort of play himself into form and fitness as well, and maybe just ease himself into the tournament.
Yeah, I guess for playing yourself into form, the first round isn't ideal, just because it's like no rhythm and stuff. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, he almost got Rune to a fifth set last year at the French.
That next section from Dimitrov to Hurkacz, by the way. So one of these is going to be a French Open quarterfinalist. Dimitrov, I mean, I'm not going to say all the names, but, Dimitrov, Tabilo, Hurkacz.
I
Is there
like
any
how
other?
you mentioned Tabilo but skipped Tiafoe. Yeah, sure. I mean, for Hurkacz, it's a very good section for sure. Like him getting to the fourth round, unless it's like a deadly qualifier in the first round, very likely. And I guess the other one is a lot more random, right? Tabilo, Dimitrov, Marozsan, maybe.
Listen, I'm not saying this is happening, but Tabilo could be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Again, very very dependent on the qualifiers, especially Monteiro, especially Medjedovic, maybe someone like Bergs even. But yeah, Hurkacz, if he gets like a pretty weak qualifier or 2 actually in his section, he's got a great draw to the fourth round. And Tabilo with Dimitrov, yeah, if not Marozsan, then who is gonna beat them really?
Indeed. Okay, well, I think that can bring the draw show to a close. Make sure you stay tuned. I've penciled in ATP Weekly for some time on Saturday. We have yet to just define when and even who, because of course, if you can't do it on Saturday or Mario can't, but I'm ideally looking at sometime after the Geneva final on Saturday. Of course, there's Lyon as well. That would be the ideal scenario to have it in a time slot after that. I don't know how you're looking at on Saturday evening.
Um, I have something at 8 p.m. which will last long, but if it's pre 8 p.m., that's fine.
Okay, let's try and find a pre 8 p.m. slot. It'll also be the same for WTA Weekly. So sometime, probably back to back almost, we'll probably do those 2 shows, probably about an hour each, looking at one, of course, on the women's side with Nick, and then one on the men's side with Damien and hopefully Mario. And anything else? There may be 1 or 2 more watch alongs in the next 48 hours or so. And hopefully plenty of action and stuff from Strasbourg. Do check out, of course, the interview I did yesterday with Magda Linette. That is on the channel. And loads of other stuff. Yeah. No great takes other than, I mean, the only great take for me is round 1 French Open on the men's side. Rafael Nadal, maybe 72 hours away, more or less, from playing his last match at the French Open, because he will be playing Alexander Zverev in round 1. There we go. That's the time. I should have just clicked end there, because that would have been perfect. But anyway, I'm going to do it now. Bye, everyone.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.